Welcome to August.
Time's a flying.
Olympics are roaring.
So they are.
Memes abound.
Yep. Steve,
the most nonchalant Olympic athlete I maybe have ever seen.
I respect that.
I fucking love it.
Well, I don't know. The dude, the shooter, the pistol shooter guy.
Oh, that one. Yeah.
He's probably the most nonchalant.
That's true. Yeah. No, he's probably my favorite. Yeah, the other glasses gymnast,
Yeah.
pommel horser,
Yep.
did his job.
He did.
But he didn't do it as good as this other shooter.
Yeah, that guy just straight up showed up, hand in pocket, banged out a silver medal.
No weird eye blocking shit.
Yeah. I can't believe that shit's legal. Like, they allow that.
I've loved every meme I've seen of it, of showing the side by side of him, and like, to put it in video game World of Warcraft terms, it's the WoW player with all the add-ons and weak auras versus the Chad vanilla UI user.
Yeah.
Doing pretty good.
Yeah. But hey, this is the Gamers 2 podcast, your weekly roundup of news and commentary related to the video game industry and anything else that might pique our interests.
Number one.
Oh,
We're gonna get right into it.
Right in.
Little get there, you know?
Yeah.
Why wait around?
No bullshit.
Number one, in a recently released white paper, Activision researched how skills-based matchmaking affects its player base. This form of matchmaking looks at how a player's skill is defined so they can be matched with similar players during a game. The publisher ran a test in early 2024 in Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3, in which 50% of the players experienced a decrease in skills-based matchmaking. As a result, the returning player rate dropped for 90% of players, while the quit rate rose by 80%. While 10% of the highest skilled players returned, Activision found that significantly fewer players did the same, which therefore reduced the player pool and produced unfair matches. By utilizing skill-based matchmaking, Activision said, quote, 80 to 90% of players experience better end-of-match placement, stick with the game longer, and quit matches less frequently, end quote.
Didn't realize it's such a contentious topic.
It is a hugely contentious topic. Now, to anybody with 4 brain cells,
I don't have that many, so.
how many do you have? 2?
On a good day.
All right, so let's say anybody with Matt's 2 on a good day knows that skill-based matchmaking is a good thing. It's what you want, and it's what you should strive for. And everybody comes home, or the loud minority, right, is, I just want to get into a lobby and stomp it. Like, I don't want to. It's like, you can just go play the campaign. They're like, yeah, but I come home, I don't want to be playing with these sweat lords. I'm like, if you're in a skill-based thing, you're just as good as they are. Well, it's not always that way. Like, there's games I get myself stomped on. Yeah, that can happen. The same way that you can have games that you can stomp on people.
I want to stomp on everyone all the time.
You're not good enough.
Well, I don't need facts thrown at me. I don't think I've ever had a positive KD in any shooter I've ever played.
You know what? You're not alone in like the global scale of things, but man, that's sad to think about. For somebody that's always been above 1, which isn't like technically good either.
Mm-hmm.
Like, good is much higher than that, but I've always been at least above a 1 KDA.
I think I average a 0.7.
I probably average 3 something.
Yeah.
Definitely some games I was much better in about than others.
No. Terrible situational
It's
awareness.
like, if you don't have skill-based and you just let people go in and stomp, you're going to immediately, as like a company, you're going to lose people immediately. And then guess what happens? How does a funnel work if all the people just start leaving? Now your skill-based matchmaking just puts you in the exact lobby you didn't want anyway.
Mm-hmm. If I'm playing a shooter, I'm getting pulled into those lobbies anyways because I'm playing with other people.
True. Group skill-based matchmaking becomes a much different thing. So you're trying to account for like not having somebody just show up into one of their friends' lobbies so they can stomp all their friends, and
I'm just cannon fodder. I'm a stormtrooper.
that is also an option.
All right, number 2.
Can't hit a fucking broadside of a bar.
Early editions of the original Xbox One console running on dated firmware are failing to download the latest updates, essentially making the 2013 era systems unusable. According to Digital Foundry's testing, 3 Xbox One consoles failed to update as, quote, systems operating on older firmware revisions error out when connected to Xbox Live, end quote. Even though all 3 have been updated since 2013 launch, one was running a 2018 dashboard and 2 others were a dashboard from 2017, none of them were able to download the latest firmware, either online or via an offline USB. Players purporting to have purchased sealed as new systems are similarly reporting issues. Microsoft is aware, and I'm sure they will fix it.
It is an interesting thing.
It is. It's
we go further and further, things that start having problems.
Yeah, and at what point, like, you run into the same issue. I don't think it's been a problem yet, but it's going to be a very big problem probably soon. Is vehicles and their connected services or like their entertainment systems, because like most of these things, like since we have moved to always on stuff, you basically have to update it all the time. So how do you handle it when you want to make it end of life? Do you just say, it sucks to be you?
I mean, not even those systems, but just think like the ECUs and whatever.
Yeah,
that are in engines, where it's like, if you don't go get this updated, we're gonna brick your machine.
Yeah.
Kia had that problem at one point. I had to go get mine updated.
Yeah, I don't know. It's wild. It's gonna be interesting.
They're like, hey, recall, come in. We need to update your OS. I'm like, I'm in a car.
Yeah,
like, yeah, we know. Don't worry about it. Just show up. Like, okay. Number 3, the East Asia games market generated $30 billion in 2023.
Whoa.
And it is expected to decline by 2.9% in 2024 to $29.2 billion, according to a new report by Nico Partners. The East Asia games market model report covers Japan and Korea. I can't. Dude, I'm taking the worst breaks for breath. The East Asia Games Market Model report covers Japan and Korea markets that also saw a... Oh, no, never mind. I was fine. You put a comma in there out of nowhere. Oh, because that makes... I fucking hate it here. I hate it here. Markets that also saw a slight increase in their number of gamers in 2023 to 96.3 million players. Mobile was the largest segment, accounting for 68.4% of revenue in the region. More than 70% of Japan mobile gamers and 90% of South Korean PC gamers are playing across multiple platforms. Overall, 39% of Japanese players and 58% of all Korean players play games on at least 2 platforms. Research also found that over 31% of Japanese gamers and 40% of Korean gamers watch game live streams, with YouTube being the most popular streaming platform, followed by local platforms. Local being stuff like the Twitch other option they have over there, whose name I don't remember now. Not Kizu. What the fuck's the name of it?
Sinwoo or something?
Yeah, there's a few. There's a couple of famous ones that I know that sponsor teams, but I can't remember what their names are right now.
Yeah. Amazing. So it's funny that
let's be clear that we're gonna go down by 2.9% to 29 billion. Oh no, okay, yeah, you lost 2 billion, but your number is still 29.
Yeah. It's funny. It's wild to me that Japan and Korea only make $30 billion in 1 year. It's nuts.
Yeah, they're just hanging out.
Just chilling.
2 relatively small countries, just
Yeah. Bank.
We'll take your money now, thanks. Appreciate it.
Mobile games, probably.
Oh, 100%. If you did that breakdown of how much is a mobile game or a mobile game that is being played on PC.
Yeah.
Gotcha games.
Gross.
Or just settle it by amount of microtransactions.
Mm-hmm. Disgusting. That was weird. Number 4.
That was fucking creepy.
Fable developer Playground Games has seemingly expanded to a 3rd studio. Playground's About page makes reference to, quote, 2 world-class studios in Leamington Spa, end quote, or Leamington Spa, UK. One, its original headquarters, and a new studio on the other side of town. However, its LinkedIn page notes there are 3. The HQ referenced above and, quote, our new studios on the other side of town, end quote. It's not clear when the 3rd studio was opened or how many staff work as base there. As WCCF Tech notes, there are 40 plus vacant positions currently advertised on the studio's website, including openings for artists, engineers, animations, and QA staff. The advertisements suggest that the team is presently recruiting for its upcoming Fable game as well as for Forza.
Terrifying, kind of, that they're still recruiting for Fable.
Fable? Yeah. I read that and I was like, ooh.
I guess it depends on like what parts they're trying to like finish, maybe, but not a good time to be recruiting for Fable.
Yeah.
Unless you're recruiting for DLC or something, it's not a good time to be recruiting for them. To be recruiting for Forza makes sense because the next one should be a real one. No, the next one should be Horizon. So, I'm all down. I'm always down for that.
Mm-hmm.
They're so good.
Oh yeah.
Speaking of driving things,
yes,
I have a clip I need to show you now that I've seen on the phone. I'll pull it up. I'll pull it up on the computer though, but remind me.
All right.
It is from F1 Manager 2024.
Okay. I forgot to put a news story in here.
You want to put it in now?
Fanatec filed for bankruptcy. Well,
Interesting.
the parent company of Fanatec filed for bankruptcy, but Corsair pulled out of the deal because they couldn't come to an agreement with
the parent company,
which is Endor AG.
So now they're going to get them for just cheap, probably?
One would hope, but the guy who runs Fanatec and the parent company is like refusing. Clearly can't run a company very well.
Right. Yeah, he's not doing great.
Yeah. Refusing to like give up control of it.
One of them.
So it'll probably just get, if it does get purchased by someone, it'll probably be after, it gets
multiple litigation.
Yeah.
Yeah. An ugly divorce.
Yeah.
No, but I just saw a clip from F1 Manager that makes me be like, you know what? I need a manager game before 25 comes out. Maybe I'll play F1 Manager.
There you go.
And then I'll show you the clip, and that's funny. Number 5, the Kids Online Safety Act and the Children and Teens Online Piracy Protection Act. Both passed in the U.S. Senate, potentially bringing significant changes to online platforms if the bills get approved by the House of Representatives. Both bills would apply to games platforms which aim at protecting children online and were both approved in a bipartisan 91-3 vote. Who are the 3? You know what I mean? You get to that low of a number, who are the 3?
Oh, it's probably the fucking... No, I think he's House of Reps, dude. I don't know. I was going to make the joke, it's that old guy who married
to which I responded, which one?
The dude who was, when he was 40 years old, went to a high school, met a 16-year-old that he fell in love with and married her at 18.
Oh, so he was using the video game to... Gotcha.
Yeah, grooming.
Yeah. That's kind of illegal and disgusting.
Yeah,
we should put him in.
We
should put him in positions of power.
He's in Congress, so there you go.
Oh man, who would have thought, right?
Oh fucking!
Yeah, I can't. I'll go insane if I think about it anymore. I'll literally go insane.
Oh.
COSA, who is that? Oh, that's the Kids
Online Safety Act.
Oh my God, no! Please tell me the other one's not what I think it is. That's so bad. You said seriously?
I guess.
Oh God, it is. They needed to put a T in there.
I think they call it something. Oh, no, that's referring to something else.
Okay, so KOSA, Kids Online Safety Act, would introduce a duty of care for tech companies when it comes to kids using their platforms, requiring them to have stronger regulations to avoid cyberbullying, sexual exploitation, and more. The bill would also see users have to prove they meet a platform's age requirements to avoid minors using products that they shouldn't. Meanwhile, COPPA 2.0, COPPA?
COPPA, I
You're
guess.
trying to cop a fucking field? What are we doing here?
I guess
Terrible naming. Nicknamed as such as it builds upon the 1998 COPPA. Great time for copping.
Copping. Coppa.
Would ban advertising targeting minors as well as their data being collected without their consent. It also aims at giving more control to parents and their children who could ask for their information to be deleted from social platforms. So, that one's most important to me.
Mm-hmm.
Followed by the other one. Like, if we were going to take encompassing both of them,
Yes.
I really want COPPA to exist and then KOSA.
Okay.
But I also really want the sexual exploitation part to exist inside of COPPA.
Yeah.
Like, that just has to happen.
Mm.
The cyberbullying is not good, and they also put and more, so who knows. But, like, cyberbullying is not great, but you should not be targeting minors with advertisements. That's just in general.
Yep.
Been saying that for years. You should not be collecting data on them or anyone. And in line with the GDPR stuff in Europe, right? Is that the acronym? The GDPR stuff? You should be able to get your data and see what they've collected on you.
Yeah.
And then tell them to stop doing it. And then them stop doing it. Companies are bullshit.
Or they'll stop doing it.
No, they won't.
Wild. Wild people being stupid for money. Number 6. Publisher Arc Games announced a new co-op multiplayer game called Fellowship. Developed by newly established studio Chief Rebel, composed of industry veterans who worked on World of Warcraft, Diablo, Helldivers, Battlefield, The Division, Just Cause, and more. Fellowship is described by the team as a MODA, a multiplayer online dungeon adventure, or a video game. Effectively, it is focused on MMO-like dungeon runs, cutting all the space in between that type of content. According to Chief Rebel, the dungeon runs will be endlessly scaling. Also, unlike regular MMOs, players will choose from established heroes. In the closed alpha playtest due to take place between August 15th and the 21st, players will be able to choose between 6 heroes, 2 tanks, 2 DPS, and 2 healers. Dungeon runs will be divided into adventure and ranked. The former will be a bite-sized experience that lasts 10 to 15 minutes, whereas ranked dungeons last 30 minutes and also register the results on a competitive leaderboard.
I mean, we'll see.
Yeah. I don't know.
It's what I want.
Yes.
And that's my worry.
Yes, on paper, it's like, this sounds like a good idea. It's all in the execution.
Because what I've always wanted is... The established heroes part is maybe the part I don't like.
Mm-hmm.
If I have to like be picky about any of it. But what I've always wanted is to just yank Mythic Plus out of WoW and just have that be a thing.
Yeah.
Because that sounds fun. But maybe we'll see.
Yeah, the established hero parts I feel like is kind of weird. Like, not weird,
it
but
makes
it's
sense because it's easier to balance.
Yes, it's a choice, but at the same time, like, I feel like it'd be attractive to have a player
to have
created.
your own character.
Yeah,
even if it was like archetypes or something, or like just even gear, or some. My case just broke.
Yeah, mine's been broken. I keep picking at it every time I do
This is on a spot that I don't even know how that happened. Anyway, Number 7. I'm going to go buy a lot of classic cars.
Yeah, I have a fun.
Do we have a fun follow-up about this?
Yes, sort of.
Perfect.
I have the link to his Bring a Trailer account, and I figured we'd go through.
God, he has a Bring a Trailer account?
Yeah, that's how they found it. He spent $2.4 million in Bring a Trailer in the past couple months.
Bungie is laying off 220 developers. That's 17% of its overall headcount. Bungie boss Pete Parsons says the cuts are needed to make me buy more cars. To make substantial changes to our cost structure and focus development efforts entirely on Destiny and Marathon. 155 roles, which is 12% of the company, will be integrated into Sony Interactive Entertainment in a slow, methodical order. Bungie, known for one of the things, not the other. Yeah. Slow, yes. Methodical, absolutely not.
Slow, yes. Chaos, yes.
Efforts entirely onto Destiny. You've basically killed Destiny 2, and I think at this point you've canceled Destiny 3, so that's really weird.
Mm-hmm.
Bungie has also announced that they are working with PlayStation Studios leadership to create one of their incubation projects. This will be an action game set in a new science fantasy universe. By developing this game, Bungie hopes to form a new studio within PlayStation Studios to continue its promising development.
That's a fancy way of saying that, they're laying off 220 people. Some of their staff is getting stolen for a new studio by Sony.
But this reeks of hey, look how badly I've ran my company. Will you give me money to start another one?
Yeah. I think this is total PR spin because of the whole we're working with Sony leadership. When it's really Sony's probably we're going to take some of your people because you don't know what the fuck to do with them.
But even then, we know Sony's sick of Bungie, so we're at a WWE storyline now where Sony can just come out and go, no, we're not. We're not advertising this at all. What are you doing?
Yeah.
And then closing and kicking all these people out.
Yep.
Which would be hysterical. Following Bungie's layoff news, several insiders have provided updates on their projects, starting with Destiny 3. According to Bloomberg's Jason Schreier, sources inside Bungie confirmed that Destiny 3 was actually never in development, despite earlier rumors to the contrary. The studio experimented with a spin-off project codenamed Payback for a while, but was eventually shelved before the latest round of layoffs. Bungie will instead continue to support Destiny 2, but according to another insider, Jeff Grubb, it will do so in a different fashion. During Grubb's Game Mess mornings, the insider also confirmed the departure of major figures like Luke Smith and Mark Noseworthy. Quote, Luke Smith and Mark Noseworthy are no longer at Bungie. They were let go. Payback is on the shelf, and the strategy now is let's take Destiny 2. And we're going to make smaller expansion packs, smaller, tinier, little things that are 6 months instead of the annual expansion packs they've done before. There will be 2 smaller experience packs going forward, end quote. According to Jeff Grubb, Bungie will also be essentially run by PlayStation Studios head Herman Hulst, losing its previously recognized autonomy. And then there's Bungie CEO Pete Parsons. Parsons is catching some public criticism, and probably internal, that can be summed up by a tweet, quote, Bungie lays off 17% of its workforce. Unrelated here is a list of cars the CEO has purchased on Bring a Trailer, end quote. One of the Bungie devs who was laid off complained on Twitter that 2 days before being let go, Parsons had invited them over to see his car collection. His car collection, also for the record, has grown massively ever since Sony acquired Bungie.
Yeah. It grew pretty significantly, and I thought it'd be fun to rip through what he's bought, and we can decide, we can judge his taste and decide if he got good deals or not. So I have
which is I'm gonna load it up too, just so I can make sure I see it. But
yep.
the funny thing with our car taste,
yes,
you and I, is there's a clear thing for me where I have a certain visual appeal, and some people are like, this thing is a classic, and I'm like, absolutely not.
Yeah.
So we'll see. I'm gonna might be the weird one here.
Well, you never know. Do we want to? How do we want to do this?
Do you want to start at the top and go down and just do the 25 wins, or what are we going to do?
Yeah, we'll just do all 25 wins, I guess. So first off,
mind you, he has no listings. Just for a quick point out.
Yeah,
he's not trying to sell a car to save.
No,
his
he's
company.
only buying. So the most recent one he bought was June 1st, and it's a 1961 Chevrolet Corvette 283 4-speed. It's an old Corvette in baby blue. And he paid $91,000 for it.
So how do we want to judge him? Do we want to judge him on the car, the cost?
I'm going to judge it on this way.
Okay.
I'm going to...
Like, if you had the money, would you buy it?
Yes, that's exactly what I was going to say. I don't think... And I think that's an attractive vehicle.
Agreed. I'm not huge on the specific blue, but I do like that year of Corvette.
I don't know if
In fact, there's one down the road. Well, I think that's a 61 that's down the road.
Yeah. I don't know.
It's got that teal.
I don't know if I could bring myself to spend $91,000 on that car.
If you think that's bad, go further down, and I'm going to have a worse one.
Oh, I don't think it gets any better.
No, I don't think so either. I think I could justify spending 91 on that, but it depends on the quality that I can't see, which is the engine.
Yeah. I mean, you could, if you wanted to, you could go into the listing and it would show you all that
I'm not
stuff,
going to.
but, yeah.
We're doing face value beatdown.
Yep. All right, next up we
I don't like
have...
the look of your face.
Next up we have a 1966 Ford Bronco Roadster.
For $60,500.
Yep. $60,000.
No. Just straight up, nope.
Yeah, that's going to be a hard no for me.
I buy a new Bronco for that.
A 1960 Morris Mini Minor Deluxe, essentially a Mini Cooper.
No.
For $33,000. I'm going to call it $34,000.
Yeah, for $34,000. No.
Yeah, it's a hard no. A 1971 Porsche 911S Coupe for $201,000.
Now, don't get me wrong. I like the car, not for $200,000.
Yeah, that's not like he's got a weird. This is the thing about the list. I just ripped through it real quick. I didn't look at it initially. I kind of just did a quick swipe up.
Yeah.
He has a very weird taste to where like he's not buying like you could get versions of all these cars for significantly less money, but he's buying ones that are like you know what he's doing is I think he's buying these for investments and not for either he's buying them for investments or he doesn't know what the fuck he's doing.
Which that part I would not be surprised about at all.
Because if someone's buying these for investments, I could be like, okay, cool, but you probably could have spent your money and got a bigger return on something else.
Yeah.
But these are all very like specific variants of these cars.
Yep.
That pull a premium, and you really have to be like obsessed with that vehicle to like care.
Yes, agreed.
So anyways, like you were about to say, love 911s, would not spend $201,000 on a 71 911.
No, and I'd buy a better 911.
Yeah. Yeah, you could get
for
that same
for that same amount of money, you could get a much better 911.
Oh yeah. That's GT3 territory, bro.
I know.
All right. 390 1969 Ford F250 with a 390 in it
For $80,000.
Get the fuck out.
Absolutely.
Just straight up get the fuck out.
It's lifted.
Here, this one's hilarious. Best purchase on this fucking list. It's a 72 Honda CT70 Trail for $5,600.
Yeah.
Honestly, the most realistic purchase.
Original owner, yeah.
It's a collector's and it's $5,600. That's like,
and it probably runs.
Yeah, that's like, I don't want to say that's like throwaway money, but like that's if you're wasting money on vehicles, stupid vehicles.
Yeah.
Okay, $5,600 for a collectible Honda CT70. Go for it.
And even then, you could buy the modern equivalent of that for like the same price.
Yep.
And that's with an engine swap in it.
Mm-hmm. 1963 BSA Rocket Gold Star. Interesting. For $40K.
Yeah, not for $40K, but I'm not a motorcycle guy. So
yeah, I'm not either. I could see that being a fit. Like I know they go for
I can
that.
see that one just being like, yep.
He bought a fucking Corvette C2 hardtop
just
for
the
$5,000.
Just the top, by the way.
Yep. A 1958 Volkswagen Beetle with a sunroof
for $47. No. Nope.
A Woody wagon, 51 Ford Country Woody wagon for $46,000.
Funny car, kind of like one of those ones you see at a car show that somebody's done up nice, and you're like, "Oh, look, a Woody, that's pretty cool."
Yep.
And then you go, "That was $46,000." No, No.
A 1988 Toyota OJ55, which is basically like a FJ pickup style. The FJ45 is the most common version of this that people know, but this is the pickup version of it.
Now, $64,000.
This makes sense to me. Like, I know this is the market.
If it was $20,000 less, I'd probably say yes.
Yes. That's too much for me.
It's too much for me, but I like it.
Yes. Oh my God, a BMW Isetta.
For
Fantastic.
$42,000.
No. Hard no for me. Ooh.
It is a clown car, and it is funny. I have seen them sold for $10,000.
Yes.
Not in that quality, but I have seen them much cheaper.
Yep. 67.
Also hysterical because that is the Clarkson car
Mm-hmm.
that he took through BBC Studios when they were still Top Gear.
67 Shelby Mustang GT500.
Love it. I love that car.
I love the car too. $201,000.
And it's the right paint job.
I would probably spend less and get a GT350 personally, but that's just me.
If a GT350 would be nice, a Boss 429 would be also nice.
Yes.
But at the same time, if I'm going to spend $201,000 on the Mustang or the Porsche 911, I'm buying the Mustang. Those are direct $201,000 comparisons.
Ooh, that's tough. All right, so you have to buy one of them.
Yeah, you can't buy both. They're exact dollar comparisons. Which one do you get?
This is weird because I think
What do you get? Non-muscle car guy?
well, I'm torn though because I think
Yeah, because it's not a GT3.
I think I would prefer to have the 911.
Yeah,
But
if it was a different 911.
I think this GT500 is worth more money.
Agreed. I think it's worth more money, and I think it's better than the specific 911 that he bought. If it was a different 911, we'd have a different conversation.
Yeah, but it's
Or at least it would be closer for you. I would probably still be getting the GT500 because it's the right paint job and it's the correct one.
yeah. Dodge Power Wagon, 1950 Dodge Power Wagon. This is actually really fucking cool, but I'm not spending $97,000.
I'm not spending $97,000 on it at all, but it is cool.
67 Volkswagen Type 2, which is your classic.
It's the classic 21 window.
Yep.
Which is not $91,000 to me, but it is cool to look at.
Yes. Here, this one will throw you through for me. This is a 1965 Porsche 356C Cabriolet. This is 100%. I would fucking yes. This is a massive yes for me.
It's probably a no for me at $235,000.
Mm-hmm.
But I appreciate it.
I'd prefer a Speedster. I'd prefer a 356 Speedster. But $235,000 is what these go for, which is fucking insane.
And
to me.
that's no.
Yep. Got a BMW R60 for $22,000.
Don't know, but cool.
65 Chevy Corvette 227 for $140K.
Almost looks like the McLean one.
Oh my God. How many more are there? All right, we're gonna start ripping through these.
For $140,
I like that style of Corvette.
I like it more than the ones we're about to mention.
Yeah. 67 Jaguar XKE series. It's a roadster.
I don't like those Jags.
I don't like those either.
It's the front bubbly that it just doesn't do it for me.
I like them better as a coupe.
Yeah.
$205,000.
Too much.
67
Again,
Corvette.
that 1967 Jag or the Porsche or the GT500.
Yeah, I mean, that would be last on my list.
Yeah, that's the bottom of the list.
67 Corvette convertible, 427 for $100,000. That's going to be a no.
Yeah, I'd rather just take the one we just saw for 140.
69 Benz 280 SL for $95,000.
Not for $95,000.
Thank you. 1980 Porsche 911 SC Targa for $130,000. I'm not a Targa fan.
Not for 130.
A Euro 1973 BMW 3.0 CSI 4-speed.
Not for $165,000.
$165,000.
Like, I like the idea because you get a little bit of Connery vibes in it, but no fucking shot for $165,000. And when I say you get a little bit of Connery vibes in it, it's not exactly obviously his Bond car, but it gives off that vibe.
38,000 mile 1990 BMW M3
For $180,000?
They've appreciated so much.
Yeah,
absolutely. Oh, the last one's the best one.
Oh, God.
You don't like Datsuns?
I don't mind Datsuns.
73 Datsun 240Z?
But the problem with the Datsuns for me...
Oh, it's a 4-speed. I'm out.
It's a 4-speed. But it's only $35,000, so really I can't say no.
Yeah.
Compared to everything else on this list, I'd buy 5 of them.
Yeah.
There's certain things that I would buy 5 Datsuns before I bought one of the other one.
I think he fucked up here, though, because...
But I think some of the Datsuns, the way that they just sit like so far back, are off-putting to me.
He bid on a 302 powered 65 Mustang Fastback.
I say, as now that I think about it, a Merc AMG GTR fan, the Datsun is like the worst version of that, where you're just with that long nose in front of you.
I think they're fucking gorgeous.
You just like 240Zs.
I do like 240Zs. The 302 Mustang Fastback he passed up on $37,000. I would have bought that. Just because, I don't know, like, I like the GT500 at all, but I feel like if I had that car, I wouldn't want to drive it.
The GT500?
Yeah.
Oh, I think I would 100% want to drive it.
I'd be too afraid of it getting damaged in some way.
I mean, I agree with that, but if you think about where I am right now, I would rather attempt to get that into my driveway than a 911.
Oh, here we go.
Do you think you're getting a 911 in my driveway?
I just know, I realize that there's comments. He left comments on things.
Do you think you could get a 911 in my driveway?
No, dude. Not at all.
But do you think you get a GT500 in the driveway?
I don't know, actually, because they had pretty soft suspension. Well, no, GT500 you get in your driveway.
I think you definitely get that in the driveway. I do not think you get a 911 in this
driveway.
Oh,
no, not at all.
I think if I buy the 911, it comes with a redo of the driveway.
Yeah.
Just to drive it.
Comments.
That he left comments or people left comments?
Wow, what a tool.
Well, okay. That's not surprising. This whole thing has been us telling him he's a tool.
Yep. All right, well, there you go. Is it my turn?
Yeah.
Rumor Roundup. According to Steven Totillo, Bungie's recent swath of job cuts was going to happen regardless of the success of Destiny's 2 The Final Shape expansion. A source said, quote, "I think Sony overpaid for Bungie. I think Bungie sold things they were just not able to deliver," end quote. Jason Schreier on Bungie's Payback. An incubation project set in the Destiny universe that would shake up the formula in major ways. It would pivot from a first-person to a third-person perspective and allow players to use the franchise's characters to explore a large world while cooperating to battle monsters and solve puzzles. The pitch took elements from popular games such as Warframe and Genshin Impact. Also Schreier, quote, "Bungie gave Naughty Dog feedback that Naughty Dog found extremely helpful in making what was likely a very smart decision to not go in on a live service game," end quote. According to Jeff Grubb, Dragon Age Veilguard is possibly releasing in late October. They did an announcement for their announcement of the release date, which is annoying. The Verge's Tom Warren has just shared in a paywalled report, my goodness, that Avowed might be getting delayed from fall 2024 to early 2025. Sources cited by Warren say the game is not in any trouble, but Microsoft and/or Obsidian has decided to give it more breathing room. And right before we went on, I think I saw a post where people were talking about a rumor or a leak that it was going to be out in February.
Yeah.
A trademark registered earlier this month by Bethesda suggests Starborn could be the title of an upcoming expansion for Starfield. Hogwarts Legacy 2 was seemingly confirmed by an Avalanche Studios job listing. According to an art director's LinkedIn, Obsidian now has at least 3 projects in active development. Mafia Definitive Edition is heading to Game Pass next month, according to an insider. And let's see here. Windows Central's Jez Corden wrote the following. Our sources indicate that Microsoft and Activision have approved the creation of a new team within Blizzard's subsidiary, comprised mostly with employees from King. Blizzard is known for beloved franchises like Warcraft, StarCraft, Diablo, and Overwatch, and Microsoft is keen to curate and serve these franchises more prolifically than Activision itself did previously. We're told Microsoft and Activision's new team within Blizzard is tasked to work on AA smaller games based on existing franchises within the Blizzard universe. Given King's mobile expertise, it's possible that these will be mobile games aimed to support Xbox's planned mobile gaming store for iOS and Android. Although we're not entirely sure that they'll be restricted specifically to mobile. Given Microsoft's platform agnostic strategy across mobile, PC, and console, it's entirely possible that any fresh projects could run across platforms. And then finally, multiple sources online are saying that gaming will play a big part at Disney's D23 Expo next week.
A lot of stuff.
For sure.
But just because we talked about rumors doesn't mean we don't have shorter things to talk about.
Yeah.
We mentioned it last week, but to reiterate, any title in development before September 2023 is exempt from the SAG-AFTRA strike. The Communication Workers of America said it stands in complete solidarity with striking members of SAG-AFTRA. Skydance Games has partnered with PlayOn to publish Marvel 1943 Rise of Hydra when it debuts next year. Capcom released its financial results for the first quarter of the financial year. Game sales were down 44% since last year. Also, all sales were down 32.5%, which is still $192 million. What has Capcom released? I don't know. Electronic Arts published its financial results for the first quarter of fiscal year 25. All categories saw a decline, but EA said they expected that. Because why wouldn't you? Because all of your games come out in the second quarter with all your microtransactions. Revenue was still $1.6 billion for 3 months. Wait until this next quarter when they have college football, Madden, FC, yada yada. Give it time. Microsoft's results for the final quarter of its financial year are in, showing continued growth in overall gaming revenue, while Xbox console sales once again decline. Gaming revenue was up 44%, Xbox content and services revenue was up 61%. Meanwhile, Xbox hardware revenue went down 42%. Meta published its second quarter earnings and has recorded a loss of $4.5 billion in its AR/VR Reality Labs division.
I don't even know how that's fucking possible.
Neither do I. That's so much money to lose.
And this is
AR,
multiple
VR in like one division.
Yeah, and they've done it multiple quarters in a row.
Yeah. What are they hoping to achieve? You know,
I don't know. For that amount of money they've spent so far, they should have a fucking holodeck.
Yeah. Or be fully investigated for illegal things.
Fucking money laundering.
Nintendo's Q1 profits declined 55% as the Switch nears the end of its life cycle. Hardware sales were down 46%, while software sales decreased by 41% because we're all waiting. Intel had announced it is reducing its global workforce by around 15,000 employees. In its Q2 financial results, Intel revealed a $10 billion cost reduction plan, which will include more than 15% reduction in headcount to resize and refocus the company. The majority of layoffs will be completed by the end of 2024.
Did you see the issues they're having with their processors?
Yeah, because they're burning out cells in them. Anything 13th gen and on, I think, that is like 65 watts. Yeah, it's fucking hysterical. You want to know who's not on Intel anymore?
That guy.
This guy. What timing?
You know what?
What timing?
You know what?
What timing and decision I made?
You know what? What's wild though is I'm like I feel bad. I don't feel bad for Intel. Obviously, I was gonna say I feel bad for Intel, but I think the nail in their coffin for the foreseeable future is this happened, and then the pricing got not leaked, but got revealed for AMD's 9000 series, and they're cheaper than last gen.
Oh yeah, then see ya.
Yeah. They came in $50 to $100 cheaper at every level than last gen.
Yep, you better start figuring it out.
And they're faster, obviously.
Yeah. The face of Supermassive Games' Dark Pictures anthology, Tony Pankhurst, has died at age 67. He played the Curator, which is one of the few characters that persist through the Dark Pictures anthology universe. Moonrover Games has raised $3.5 million in funding from NCSoft, which will go towards the development of its co-op shooter codenamed Project Aldous. Moonrover is based in Stockholm, Sweden, and was founded in 2023 by Far Cry and Battlefield developers. According to Lee Cocker, who served as executive producer on multiple Mario and Sonic Olympic titles, the International Olympics Committee allowed the Mario and Sonic Olympics licensing deal to lapse as it wanted to look at other partners and NFTs and esports. Idiots.
Mm-hmm.
Warner Brothers has hired Yves Lachance to lead its Montreal game studio, appointing him video president and studio head for the developer. Lachance was the studio director of Bethesda Game Studios in Montreal and held several leadership positions at Behavior Interactive.
Tell me to finish it out.
Former Unity and Scopely developers have banded together to form Outer Haven Games. Whiteout Survival has... I'm good.
Okay.
I appreciate you, though. Whiteout Survival has passed $1 billion in gross revenue. It's the third fastest 2023 title to achieve this feat, following in the footsteps of Monopoly Go and Honkai Star Rail, and one of the worst games in terms of advertising to me every fucking chance it gets.
I've never even seen this game before.
You're not on your phone enough. It's a good thing.
I guess
I'm going to be deliberately clear. That's a good thing, but it's all over like any of the stuff that I would use. Just like it's one of the pop-in ads. It's either that or fucking Temu.
Pop-in ads.
Like, you know, you're scrolling Twitter. There's an ad.
Oh, I guess
Ad.
I don't go on Twitter that
You're
much.
scrolling Reddit. Ad. You're scrolling the Play Store.
Yeah.
Ad. You're scrolling
I don't think I've
YouTube.
ever
Ad.
gotten
You're
it.
just hitting ads. Ads.
I do get the Temu ads a lot.
God, it's so... If it's not that for a shopping one, or like when I'm doing Duolingo at night, right, and they just hit you with like an ad in the middle of it, and it's like, oh, it's going to be Whiteout Survival or it's going to be Temu.
Jesus, okay.
Back to like when it was Raid Shadow Legends everywhere.
Yeah.
It's that.
All right.
Monopoly Go, though, fun game. I can't hate that one. Pokemon Scarlet and Violet have sold 25 million units since release in November of 2022. That's a lot.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it's at least a good number. I think people were not expecting it to do that well by now. Paradox Interactive has indefinitely delayed Prison Architect 2 ahead of its initial release date this September. Paradox clarified that it cannot commit to a new release date until it can reassess the scope of the work needed to be done. Games Workshop has reiterated that Amazon's highly anticipated Warhammer 40k film and TV series will not happen unless both companies can agree on creative guidelines by December 2024. Sorry, Henry Cavill, but you can't have the way you want with Witcher or 40k. Gary Newman, the creator of Gary's Mod, has received a DMCA on behalf of the Skibidi Toilet creator. The DMCA is a notice for utilizing the assets in Gary's Mod, which he is claiming to be his assets. However, most of the assets came from Half-Life 2, so what the fuck are you talking about?
Exactly.
Xbox has announced 3 days of live streams for Gamescom 2024. President and CEO of Wizards of the Coast, Chris Cox, said the studio has hired veteran executive John Haidt with the goal to ship 1 or 2 games per year, starting in late 25, early 26. Game Informer is dead after 33 years. The head of RGG, Ryuga Studio, said the following about the first episode of Amazon Prime's fucking words, Amazon Prime Video's live action series of Like a Dragon Yakuza. Quote, "When I saw the ending, I couldn't help but scream. I jumped on my feet in my office, excited by the drama's twist. My hands were trembling as I took a smoke in our smoking room right after that. I was that affected. I thought it was amazing." End quote. I'm going to have to go get a fucking fish tattoo.
A koi or whatever it is?
Yeah.
Oh my
like
god.
how, you know, everybody else is, well, like the koi is the joke of Ichiban. Everybody else is the dragon of Dojima and, you know, tigers and dragons and whatever and sharks and like all these things. And then he has a koi fish on his back and people are like,
what the fuck? That's funny. I hope it's really good.
I hope so too. I'm actually let's go.
I hope it does. I hope it has a Fallout effect to where it introduces a ton of people to the series.
Well, so here's the funny thing, right? That happened during COVID.
Mm-hmm.
All of a sudden, Yakuza went bonkers.
Yeah.
And rightfully so. It deserves everything it's gotten. It got me into it.
Yeah.
Watching Ray go back and do it again, and I was like, perfect. I watched him play 1 through 6, and including some of the spare ones. So then when Like a Dragon came around, I was like, I gotta play this. I played Like a Dragon. I was like, oh my god, this is amazing. And then I played Gaiden. Oh, that was great. And then I played the Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth, and I was like, this is so good. I love everything about this.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm just like, more.
Yeah.
More. It's just that it's a dumb drama that's just so good.
Yeah.
And it's just the main story, but all the side stuff too. Like that's what I really need the show to hit, is not just the main story, but it needs to have those moments of just outrageously unrelated side quests.
Yeah. Yeah, I can see that. I don't know if it had the chance to, but it'd nice if there was calls to it, like maybe seeing Star or End at weird places, like seeing Star at a bunch of claw games.
Either that or you go find somebody that's in an arcade trying to play the claw games, or they're at the batting cages, they're at the golf cages, they're doing karaoke, even though there's supposed to not be any karaoke. Like they're doing all these things, or there's just two characters talking, and in the background another one goes by that is like Mr. Masochist or somebody goes by, and you're like, I know that guy. Just little Easter eggs like that everywhere.
Yeah,
that'd be so much fun. But yeah, so anyway, it's been 7 days. What you been up to?
Not a whole lot of work. Still listening to the Shattered Sword book, which is the. Sorry, even the Shattered Sword gets you every time.
No, yeah. I read a fucking response to a meme I sent, and that fucking got me pretty good.
Yeah, it's kind of deep in the doctrine of like Japanese carriers and stuff at the time, and it gets super nerdy, but it's a little over. I think it's the narrator who accentuates what he's speaking, or the way the book. And it doesn't help the way the book is written. The way the book is written, it's basically they never had a chance. Everything sucks. Their carriers are built like shit.
So it's still written from their perspective as an American.
Yeah. Basically, it's like they looked at their.
I will tell you how they were thinking. Bunch of fucking idiots.
They're looking at all of the the reports and all the data, like how they construct their flight squadrons and everything, and it's basically their entire setup was going to fail no matter what. And it was like, all right, cool, I guess. They basically I'm going through the chapter I'm on right now is about basically how their carriers are constructed and how they took the worst of the British and American designs and implemented them. And it was totally when they built them and designed them, they didn't know that they were going to be the worst, but it worked out that for the battles of World War II and how everything played out, it was the worst of both because they had an enclosed hangar deck. That's good. They had an enclosed hangar deck that was enclosed in metal. So it's if you hold a firecracker and let it off, it'll blow your hand off. But if you open it, if you have it open, it doesn't hurt you. And it's it's that concept, but with an aircraft carrier. It's all right, cool. So they were just.
I mean, that concept alone is just a wild.
Yeah.
If you didn't hold the grenade closed, you're fine. Yeah. What?
So that's how they started the chapter, basically being the U.S. had open deck carriers. So a bomb goes off on the flight deck, the hangar deck, I mean. It just blows out the sides because the hangar deck is completely open. A bomb goes off in a Japanese hangar deck. It's completely enclosed in steel. Ship go boom. I'm like, all right, cool.
Ship go boom.
That's about it. I don't got anything else going on. Life.
Yeah, the fucking life.
Yeah.
Life is right.
What have you been up to?
Life.
Living.
God
damn it.
Better or worse. No, I mean, I've just been playing WoW, playing the pre-patch events out now, so I've leveled a few characters, or finished leveling them.
Yeah.
I just have been able to, like, while doing other things, just sit in the pre-patch event zone and just fly around a little bit, gain levels, and then doing the actual stuff I need to do on the side. So
chugging along.
It's worked out. And then still just listening to All Sinners Bleed. I think I'm like 2/3 of the way through now. I want to say there's like 32 chapters, and I think I'm on like 22 maybe, or something like that. So still just moving along. Slowly reaching the point where I'm going to get annoyed, I think, though.
Yeah.
Because we're reaching that point where, like, unless they're going to throw a real monkey wrench in at the last second, they're starting to line up, like, who the killer is and, like, where they are, how many people they've killed, and, like, they're sending these messages and they're doing all these things, and, like, every time we go talk to somebody, then we find them the dead, and, yada, yada, yada. But they're, like, building on it, and now having, like, a lot more revelations. But they're in chapter 22, there's got to get to 32. And either they're going to draw it out with a bunch of ridiculous side stories that are going to really annoy me, instead of the case, which is more entertaining to me, or they're going to attempt this weird bait and switch and the final 2 chapters. That's
like a twist.
And it's going to piss me off more. Yeah. You've known them the whole, like a CSI episode. You met them in the first 5 minutes. Every single killer, Law and Order SVU episode, who was the characters that we met in the first 5 minutes? Stared them all. That guy. Done. You can move on now. You don't need to watch the rest of it. And that's going to piss me off.
Yeah.
Like, as of right now, I don't think it's who they think it is. So if they stay true to who the characters think it is and it becomes that person, then I'm like, okay, cool. I was wrong. I was able to get, I guessed wrong because I assumed a double cut or something.
Yeah.
Good. They can tell that story. But it also means that they're gonna, like, either have to elongate it or end too soon and then do other things after the case is solved, which is, like, annoying. Yeah. Or there's me going, I don't think it's who they think it is, and I think there's another, like, 3 people that I would suspect. Because a few characters have showed up and had, like, events and then have just not been around again. And it's like, that seems weird because you put a lot of emphasis when they were around and now they're just not here.
Yeah.
So it seems like a good time to be like, well, you remember the guy from the milkshake place? And you're like, oh yeah, yep. You made an entire 3 chapters about him. That makes sense because you haven't talked about him for 15 of them. So it's just those weird things in storytelling where certain times I get annoyed or sad about how something ends. But yeah, that's about where I'm at. All right, cool. In that case, we'll see you all in 7 days. Toodaloo, bye bye.